Our topic is the social menace of drug addiction. The social menace of drug addiction refers to the harmful impacts that drug addiction has on individuals and society as a whole. Drug addiction is a chronic and relapsing disorder characterized by the compulsive seeking and use of drugs despite negative consequences. Drug defined as follows according to the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency or PDEA. Number 1. Clinical definition. Drug is a therapeutic substance other than food used in the prevention, diagnosis, alleviation, treatment, or cure of disease in human or animals. Clinical is also a study of health and illness in people. Number 2. General definition. Drug is a substance aside from food intended to affect the structure or function of physiological system like the human body. Include any substance excluding food that can alter how the body functions when consumed. 3. Popular definition. Drug refers mainly to chemical or plant-derived substances that affects the body, psychological, behavioral, or physical function and leads to varying degrees of dependence or addiction. A drug is a chemical substance that is administered or taken to incite a biological effect in the body of an organism. Addiction. An addiction is not having control over doing, taking, or using something until it becomes harmful. Commonly, there are dependencies on alcohol or drugs, but you can also become addicted to everything from gambling to chocolate. Being addicted to something means having difficult time without it during the day. Drug addiction, also known as substance use disorders, is an illness that affects a person's brain and behavior and causes them to lose control over whether or not they take drugs or medications, whether they are legal or not. Alcohol, marijuana, and nicotine are examples of substances that are regarded as drugs. Classification of dangerous drugs. This topic refers to the classification of dangerous drugs according to the Act of 1972. According to this classification, there are two classes of dangerous drugs. Number 1 is prohibited drugs. These are drugs that produce psychological effects similar to narcotics or drugs that have pain relieving and sleep-inducing properties. Examples of prohibited drugs mentioned in the annex include cocaine and LSD. Second is regulated drugs. These are drugs that have self-inducing sedative effects or drugs with physiological effects similar hypnotic drugs or compounds. Example mentioned include barbiturates, marijuana, opium, and its derivatives. The text also mentions that drug abuse can involve both illegal substance and prescription drugs. It states that there is no clear distinction between prescription drugs and recreational drugs because they often contain the same or similar ingredients, albeit in different dosages.
Common drug type. There are different types of drug. Some are prescribed, others are known as club drug, illicit or illegal substances, and designer drug. Marijuana is the term used to describe all that comes from the plant, cannabis sativa, like leaf, top stem, flowers, and roots. These are dried and prepared for smoking or taken orally as brownies. Marijuana has a psychoactive effect. It is taken into the body in the form of smoke or vapor and can be also consumed and mixed into food or steeped in tea. It also believed to act as the gateway to other more serious substances. There have 10 adverse effects of marijuana. First, impairment of memory and short-term cognitive functioning, particularly mathematical, reading, and verbal comprehension skills. Second, impairment of motor skills which may lead in accident and respiratory problem such as bronchitis or lung cancer. Third, premature babies, low birth weight, abortion, or stillbirth. 4. Panic or state of anxiety, sometimes accompanied. 5th, Motivational syndromes as the regular use of marijuana does. The mind of the smoker blunts enthusiasm and takes away drive or urge. Sixth, burnout as the user can become dull, slow-moving, initiative, and unaware of her surrounding. Number 7, susceptibility to infection. Number 8, decreased sperm production and altered sperm shape and mobility. Number 9, decreased testosterone level so that pre-teenager are an increased risk of temporary loss of facility. Number 10, symptoms of mental illness.
Common drug types. Inhalants. Inhalants abuse is the deliberate inhalation of volatile chemical substance that contains psychoactive vapors causing a state of intoxication. Most inhalants are common household products such as nail polish remover, glue, gasoline, nitrous oxide, hairspray, spray paint, and household cleaners. Inhalants refer to a group of drugs that are inhaled in a form of gas or solvent. Immediate effects of inhalant: confusion, distorted perception of time and distance, hallucinations, illusions, nausea and vomiting, and drowsiness. Delayed effect: loss of memory, inability to think, weakness and muscle cramps, numbness of limbs, abdominal pain, damage to the nervous system, kidney, liver, and possibly the bone marrow. Methylene dioxymethamphetamine or MDMA, commonly known as ecstasy, XTC, Adamin Eden tablet, refers to the drug having such chemical composition. Ecstasy is the term used for a group of designer drugs closely related in chemical form to the amphetamine family of illicit drugs. Demand for these drugs caused its price to soar up to 2,000 pesos today. This drug is created for the purpose of making someone feel high. This is popular with the teens and young adult who goes to the clubs, concerts, or rave parties. This is known as the party drugs. Adverse or harmful effect of this drug: fatigue and perhaps depression after the drug stopped, restlessness, anxiety, and auditory hallucination at large doses, nausea and vomiting, rise in blood pressure and heart rate, or death from heart failure or stroke. Prolonged regular use can lead to the same long-term effect as those synthetic stimulants, including a potential neurotoxicity and brain and liver damage. Opiates, sometimes called narcotics, are a group of drugs that are used medically to relieve pain but have a high potential for abuse. Opiates that are commonly abused are opium, morphine, codeine, and synthesized or manufactured opiates. Opiates dull the senses and relieve pain, derived from the resin of the opium poppy, Papaver somniferum. Cocaine. Cocaine is a drug from the leaves of the Erythroxylon coca plant, a shrub that originated from South Africa. This drug affects the central nervous system as a stimulant. Cocaine exaggerated changes caused by at least two brain chemicals, noradrenaline and dopamine, increasing alertness and causing euphoria. Cocaine was used by the doctors to treat anxiety and depression until they realized that it was addictive. It was also used by dentists to numb their patient's gum, but it damaged the living tissues, so it was replaced by other drugs like lignocaine. Sedatives. Sedatives are used to treat varying conditions such as anxiety, tension, seizures, panic disorders, and sleep disorders. Sedative hypnotics as tranquilizer, sleeping pills, and sedatives are drugs which depress or slow down body functions. This drug can be dangerous when taken without a physician's prescription or instructions. Steroids. Anabolic steroids are not the same as the kind used in medicine for the reduction of inflammation. Rather, these substances are used to build mass and strength. They typically consist of male sex hormones and can be very damaging when used without a medical prescription. Nicotine. Tobacco was introduced in America in the late 5th century. When the tobacco smoke is inhaled, nicotine is absorbed through the lungs and reaches the brain in about 7 seconds. Nicotine produces pleasing effects in your brain, so you reach for another cigarette. The more you smoke, the more the nicotine you need to feel good. 9 out of 10 smokers says they like to quit smoking, but they cannot. Cigarette smoke contains a handful of other harmful substances, including carbon monoxide and tar.
Warning, sir. This is a report is a reason behind the drugs abuse. It is a time of explanation, thinking drugs in common. A teenager struggle to instantly the three dependence is society, where alcohol and other substances are accident we being alcohol and behind that alcohol adult the same reason behind addiction. One
Curiosity. Curiosity.
curiosity, one of the common reason why teens as drugs use drugs in because the team curious about them. That's why some people take because because of the problem and tens and addict and take alcohol. Thank you.